I'm sure you've heard a lot of people talking about mind-muscle connection and that it's very important. And I just wanted to make this video because I'm sure there's a lot of people, I'm talking to a previous version of myself even, that wondering how do we increase our mind-muscle connection? Okay, how do we actually build that up? Because it's kind of like one of those weird extra pieces of the kind of whole working out sphere. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we build the mind-muscle connection? And again, this is coming from somebody who, my personal experience, it was probably, I don't even know, years before I felt anything at all from doing lat pull downs. I just did not feel lat pull downs for years. And I think that's partly fine because it is going to take some time. But I want to share with you some things today that I think is going to really jumpstart that. Okay, going to get you ahead of the power curve and hopefully save you a lot of time. All right, and so the thing is, why is mind-muscle connection important? And I have two pictures of me over here I want you to look at. I want you to look really closely at this picture. Can you see you have this arm and you have this arm? And it looks this is actually the arm. There's a bump above my arm, and it's actually the arm. There's another arm behind me. If my arms look uneven, but measured, they were actually the same size when I measured them. Okay, so mind-muscle connection is important because it's not only going to help you in building the muscle and getting stronger, bigger, which is what we all want, but is going to help you display the muscle. Which again, what is the whole point of working out and doing everything if we're not going to show the muscle, right? And this imbalance right here was not actually an arm size difference, but this was a lack of being able to properly engage my biceps and really display the muscle properly. And just to kind of illustrate this, I'm going to show you right here. Okay, so I have my arm like this, right? So my arm is like this. And I think this happens with a lot of guys, right? You kind of have your arm here. You're trying to flex him, but there's nothing really going on. Okay, so being able to properly engage that muscle and actually flex it and contract it and get it tight, that's going to be really important for the actual showpiece. So, the professor is here. Okay, class is in session. Pop in a Zyn, crack a cold monster, grab your notes. Class is in session. Let's get it started. Okay, so is my mind-muscle connection good or bad? Okay, I have created these 3 tests that I think if you can pass all 3 of these tests, I would say, yes, you have a good mind-muscle connection with a particular muscle group. Okay, first off, the can you flex / activate the muscle without load? So kind of like what I was showing you a minute ago. Are you able to flex your bicep? Okay, can you just sit there and flex, pop your pecs with no load on them? Are you able to crank down and engage your lats, okay, your quads, everything? Can you contract and tighten that muscle with absolutely zero load? Second test, does the muscle change visually when you flex it? Okay, so this was me a while ago. And again, when I graduated high school, I was 125 pounds. Little guy. I was a little guy for a very, very long time. And then in the military, kind of went from, over that 10 years, probably went from 150 to 180-ish when I got out of the military. And now I'm up at 195 now. And when I peak bulked, got up to 235. Okay, so does the muscle change visually when you flex it? It used to happen to me all the time. I would kind of flex my bicep, but nothing would really happen. And part of that visually changing it, when you touch it, is it dense? Okay, or like when you grab it, does it just kind of feel, like soft, like a sponge? If it's nice and hard, like a rock, then boom, okay? I don't know if you can hear that. Probably hear that. If it's nice and dense, then you got a good mind-muscle connection. And my last test is, can you get a pump in one set? If you wanted to, if you really wanted to, could you go down there, put on, a decent weight, and crank out a set of 12, 16, 20, and just get a super pump in one singular set. And I think you can really only do that if you have a good mind-muscle connection and are able to contract, really focus on contracting that muscle during the exercise. So if you can pass all these tests, you're good. You really don't need the rest of this video. But if you want to increase beyond that and really want to get a nice solid mind-muscle connection, here we go. Let's get into it. So how are we going to increase that connection? First thing I think is very important is doing what I call wake-up sets. And so this would be something like targeting a smaller muscle group at the beginning of your workout to kind of activate it, get blood into it, wake it up, whatever you'd like to call it. And so this is things like leg extensions before squats, or pec fly before a chest press. Like I really, really like to do pec flies before I do incline press. Could be tricep rope extensions before your close grip bench, or it could be rope face pulls or lat pullovers before doing a deadlift or a heavy row. And like I said, I've talked about this before in some other videos. I don't really like face pulls. Okay, there are a lot of videos online of people saying that if you want to build your traps, you got to do face pulls. I think that is total nonsense. I think it's total BS. I don't think those are going to do anything for building your traps. But what I do think is that you can do a nice set of squeezing rope pulls, okay, and make sure you're contracting your traps and get them to wake up. And you might be thinking, like, have this conversation with a lot of people. If I do some sort of wake up set, like let's say leg extensions before squats, is this going to have a severe negative effect on my strength and my ability to do that compound movement? And from my experience, I've done it both ways for a long time. I've tried it. I spent a long time trying both methods. I think that obviously there is going to be some strength drop off from doing an isolation movement first, but I think the benefits that you get, this is for most people, just in general for most people, I think the benefits that you get from waking it up are going to outweigh any sort of strength drop off. Like the strength drop off is minimal. It's hardly even noticeable from my experience anyways. So I just really prefer this method. I think that this is definitely the superior way to do it. And I usually do it like this. So not only do you kind of wake it up and kind of warm up the muscle, but in a lot of cases, I think you are reducing chances for possible injury, especially in a squat situation or even chest press. I just think that you're reducing your injury risk by warming everything up, making sure everything's lubricated and you got blood everywhere. I think it's a good choice. Okay, so whatever. Enough on that. Next thing, ABF. All right, so this is going to sound a little ridiculous, okay, but ABF is always be flexing, okay, all the time. Always be flexing. Anytime during the day. And again, it sounds ridiculous, but I think that it is actually super important. You want to really, sit there and feel your muscle contracting, just like in the shower, right? Just grab your tricep and just start flexing your tricep and think okay, how does my tricep feel when I flex it like this, right? How does it feel when I flex it like this? It feels tighter when I flex it behind my body like that, right? Things like this. Okay, why does my bicep feel like I get a better contraction when I have my arm up like this than when my arm's down like this? All these questions, okay, I think you need to figure them out. Sit there and flex your chest. Okay, do some sort of chest movement and say, okay, well, I get a lot better flex in my chest when I actually pick my chest up and then crank down like that, as opposed to rounding forward. If I flex like that, I just feel it all in my shoulders. These are things that you should just be trying all the time, okay? And understanding the physiology of your body and how all your muscles are working together. And maybe this is going to sound like super common sense for some people, but like I said, I think it's important because once you actually do that, you can see it, you can feel it, you can actually like feel your muscles working. I just think that it adds a new level of awareness when it comes to your workouts, right? Like when I'm with the fam, I got the kids in the shopping cart and we're in Costco, right? And, I'll have my older son get on the front of the cart so the cart is harder to turn, and I'll kind of like grab the shopping cart like this, and I really just try to turn the shopping cart like just with my lats, right? And I put the bigger one in the front, so it's like kind of hard to do that, and I really gotta, like learn how to like push out with my lats and kind of pull in and kind of do this motion and stuff like that, right? Getting ready to get in the shower. Wife's yelling at you because you're taking too long and you're doing the Mr. Mirror Olympia, checking it out. I think these things are all really important. And just going out through the day, flexing your muscle, making sure you understand, it's just like practicing. It's not going to tax your muscle or anything. You're okay. I'm getting pretty good with flexing my bicep and abs, whatever, everything. So ABF. Always be flexing. Second thing, get lean. No, third thing. Yeah, we're on 3. We're on the third thing. Okay, so the third thing is get lean. In the process of getting lean, you are calorie and energy depleted, and you really have to rely on like really engaging your muscle if you want to feel anything. Like when you're on a big bulk and you just got like loads of carbs and calories in your muscles, you can kind of get away with just like throwing weight around. But at least from my experience, if you do that while you're lean and while you're cutting, I didn't really feel much from my workouts. Okay, I really had to focus on thinking about actually working the muscle and really getting it in there. So I think that process of getting lean is going to help you greatly. And then once you are lean, you're on the other side of that, you can now see all your muscles a lot better, and you can observe them while they're working to make sure that you're actually targeting the correct muscles. So I think there's a lot of benefits there. Like if you can't see your abs, you should get lean. I don't think it's too much to ask that dudes, basically every dude, we should be able to see your abs. I don't think that's too much to ask. Check it out. Okay, that's what I got right now, and I'm bulking right now, boys. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm bulking. I'm sitting at 196 right now, and I'm an old guy, 35, right? So I don't think it's too much to ask that these younger guys, we should be able to see your abs, just rip down a little bit, and then go on the bulk train. Once you get lean, and I'm actually revising this from what I thought previously, which is that I used to think that kind of just everybody should just bulk to, just basically to get up to at least 200. I'm revising that slightly. I think you should go to seeing your abs first, and then just kind of as a general rule of thumb, see your abs first and then bulk. And the reason for that is when you're adding that new body fat on from the bulk, it's going to distribute a little differently than just kind of like the sedentary gained fat over time that just kind of centers all down here. You get it. Anyways, next thing, reps. Doing higher reps for me really helped me to actually feel the muscle and get better mind-muscle connection. Doing low reps is great because you're building strength, and definitely, it obviously has a place. Obviously, I'm not saying only do high reps, but I'm saying if you're somebody who only does lower reps and you feel like you're lacking on the mind-muscle connection, try going higher reps. Do 16 reps for a little while. Do 14 to 16 for a little while. If you do a set to failure, that true failure that's at 16 reps, you're going to feel that. I promise. And so for me, it's been extremely helpful in building the density and also the connection. And so the density is an important part as well. For a time, focus on time under tension to really make sure you're working the correct muscles. And again, you don't have to do this forever. You don't have to switch it so you're now you only do high reps now. Just try it for 2 months. Okay, that's how you should be changing up your training, not super regularly, but try new things. Okay, you got to try everything until you find something that works for you. And like I was saying in the very beginning of this video, this may take a long time for new lifters, and that's okay. I remember my very first tricep pump. It was 2014. I was in South Carolina on a TDY at a shooting course. We were doing some like CQB tactical shooting course. And, at that point I'd been lifting for like 4 years because I started in 2010. And one of my buddies hooked me up with this pre-workout that is now banned. I can't remember the name of it, but man, it was good. Anyways, took this pre-workout. It was incredible. Did a few sets of tricep extensions on the cable, and that was it. It was like I had died and gone to heaven. I felt that tricep pump for the first time, and boys, I was hooked. It was incredible. Felt so good. And like I said, with my lats, it took me years. I remember just doing lat pull downs for years, not feeling anything. And then kind of as time progressed, it was like, well, now I can feel it. Now when I do lat pull downs, I can feel it like in the top of my lat on this side and the bottom of my lat on this side. And then eventually over time now, I can feel it. I have pretty good control and feel over everything. It just takes time. And you really want to focus on the target muscle during each and every rep. And again, I'm not saying sometimes. I'm saying do this sometimes, right? Obviously, I think low reps has a place in your training. I think high reps has a place in your training. I think cheat reps are great. I think bad form has a place in your training. Yes, I know. Crazy, right? But I'm saying for a time, high reps, focus on the contraction. Focus on the stretch. Make sure you really think about activating the target muscle. It's going to have some benefits. And let's see. Pump checks. Okay. And this is post working out. I think it's important to pop whatever piece of clothing off and observe that muscle. Okay. Now that you've pumped it up, you've worked it out, go and check it out in the mirror. Look at it from all angles. Okay, am I good side to side? Is my left and right? Is everything even? How are we looking direct post? This is going to give you immediate visual feedback post workout that'll let you know kind of if you've done an okay job of working out the muscle or not. I think that the value of getting a pump is understated. I think it can be it's obviously not a number one driver of progress and success, right? But I think you can use that as a pretty good litmus test. Take a look at, did I get a really good pump this workout? It was probably a good workout. Is it possible to get a really good pump and also have it be a bad workout? I don't think so. That's just me. So pump checks. And then the very last thing is consistency. Okay. It can take a very long time. Just keep at it. Just keep working at it. The gains and the progress will come with time. But just think about it. If it was like super easy and it was possible for somebody to get jacked in 4 weeks, everybody would be jacked, right? The thing is, it's not possible to just make a mind-blowing amount of progress in 4 weeks or even really 4 months. It takes years. It takes time. And that's fine. It's all part of the journey. And as long as you like the journey, then you'll have a good time. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to know about anything else. in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.